Hey YouTubers, it's Charlie. This is going to be my Gotham episode 4 video. We finally got to meet Michael Chiklis, and we found a little bit more about what Theo's planning for the city, something that may remind you from a Court of Owls storyline. Also a really interesting fact, today in fictional history, Batman fought the Joker for the first time. Now the first issue he appeared in was Batman #1, but you remember Batman started in Detective Comics, he didn't start in Batman. So happy Batman vs Joker Day. Today is also like the Flash of Two Worlds Day, but that's only on TV, not in the comics. So let's do top 5 WTF moments, and then I'll explain some of the new characters from the comics and kind of what they're doing with the Court of Owls storyline. They're changing a few things. Careful for spoilers if you haven't seen the episode yet. Here we go, starting with number 5. Meet Nathaniel Barnes, new captain, played by Michael Chiklis. He's an awesome actor. I love that he's on the show. If you really want to watch like an awesome cop drama with Michael Chiklis, watch The Shield. That was on FX a long time ago. As we meet him in this episode, he's not much of a character yet, like we've only just seen brief bits of him. We don't really know what's going on underneath the surface. He's more of like a really punchy, walking megaphone, just like yelling at people. Pick that up. I'm gonna kick the shit out of you if you break the law. Villains are rising this season. Of course, the police are going to have to match that. So this episode was kind of like the rise of the police. And they actually kind of strayed into Untouchables territory. If you haven't seen it, it's this amazing film about Elliot Ness going after Al Capone. Al Capone's played by Robert De Niro, Kevin Costner plays Elliot Ness, and Sean Connery kind of plays an older version of Detective Gordon. During the film, there's this montage where they go and they put their team together. Like Al Capone seems untouchable, so they need this awesome team to take him down. When they're at the academy, it's kind of like when Andy Garcia shows up during Untouchables. He's like the crackshot rookie from the academy, like all these people that they just lined up, like, you're way too smart to be here. What are you doing in the police? So yeah, it got a little silly, went a little over the top, but I love what they're doing with the Nathaniel Barnes character. I think he's going to be a lot more entertaining to watch when we learn more about him. On to number 4 though, meet Silver St. Cloud, Bruce's special new friend. If it wasn't plainly obvious, they're just trying to present Bruce with Sophie's choice. Is he going to choose the Catwoman path? Is he going to choose the high society Silver St. Cloud path? Maybe Silver's going to be worse for him than Catwoman, who is an actual criminal, so that's saying a lot if you're worse than an actual criminal. She seems relatively harmless, so I'm really interested to see how complicit she is in Theo's plans. The misdirect is to think that just because she's a child, she's innocent, which is not the case. I mean, we've met Catwoman, we know she's totally not innocent. Kids in Gotham can be every bit as crazy as the adults. Shout out for Poison Ivy. In the comics, Silver St. Cloud showed up in 1977 in Detective Comics number 470. She wasn't much of a character then. She was around for a Hugo Strange storyline and then went away for a long time. They brought her back a couple times that weren't particularly memorable, but her biggest storyline lately has been Widening Gyre. That wasn't super recent. That was actually Kevin Smith's Batman story. That was a while ago. So for the most part, I'm actually totally cool with them changing her character from the comics. She's not one of those big A-list characters. She totally fits in with this Court of Owls storyline. So when you think of Silver St. Cloud, yeah, she's kind of like sugar, but think of it as a metaphor that Theo is using the sugar to hide the taste of the poison. He's trying to either win over or neutralize Bruce. On to number 3 though, Theo versus the Penguin. So this is actually a really interesting scene where he reveals that big cityscape with some of his grand plans for Gotham. Similar to what was going on with the Arkham City storyline where it's like, we're gonna rebuild Gotham the way we want it to be. But in this instance, it's a lot closer to what was going on during Court of Owls. But they changed a few things because during Court of Owls, it was Bruce Wayne that wanted to revitalize Gotham. So he presents Lincoln March, who is the mayor of Gotham at the time, with his plan for redesigning Gotham. He shows him a model of Gotham with a bunch of new buildings. So they're twisting that, making it more of a sinister thing, but the whole idea is who is going to control the future of Gotham. Penguin, of course, is kind of funny. He's one of those characters that just can't catch a break no matter how powerful he thinks he is. Supposed to be the king of Gotham, but he can barely control his minions. On top of that, Theo's reaction to him was just so awesome. It's just like, oh, you think you're the king of Gotham? How cute is that? Let me show you my favorite reality show. I mean, I really didn't like that line. It was kind of cheesy, but you get the idea. He's trying to control the person who thinks he is controlling everyone else. He's supposed to be Gotham's final boss form. So as Bruce and all the other characters muscle up, they have to defeat all the smaller villains till they make it to the final boss. James Frain's totally amazing as a villain. I've never seen a villain performance of his that I didn't like, but the only thing I'm not going to get on board with is his American accent that he's using in this. It's just too weird. I'm not really sure why it's not okay for him to have a British accent, just because that feels a lot more natural coming out of his mouth, but I'll give him some time. Maybe I'll warm up to it. On to number 2, the Riddler and Miss Kringle. So this was mostly fun from a comedy perspective, but I want the actor, Corey Michael Smith, that plays the Riddler, to wear this t-shirt that says "The Riddler is my co-pilot," because he keeps hallucinating that other personality. Now, the actor said that it's not a split personality, so I don't know exactly how they're going to explain it, but he is definitely not going anywhere. Like, that's going to continue to be a thing. So if you thought that was a lot of fun, like him just being crazy with himself, they're going to continue to develop that. And as nice as regular Nigma is, none of this bodes well for Miss Kringle, who is just like traded one crazy person for another. You have to feel a little bad for her, even though it's nice to see them together. I feel like they would be a good fit, so maybe if she becomes a villain eventually, that'd be a lot of fun, but I don't think they're taking her in that direction. The Riddler has had a lot of assistants in the past, but none of them have ascended to Harley Quinn levels. So yay for the two of them. Somebody get them the number of an abuse hotline, because Miss Kringle's probably going to need to call it in a couple episodes. Finally, onto my number one WTF moment, more abuse. Alfred hits the cat. There are very few things you can do that are worse than abusing an animal. You have to feel so bad for her. This scene here with the fire hydrant on the street is just her self-esteem pouring onto the pavement. Just sadness everywhere. What is the whole reason for this atrocity to be committed? What is the purpose of this? Well, mostly it's the narrative challenging the Catwoman to make a decision what she's going to do about Bruce. Do you want to be with him? Like, do you want to be his friend? Do you want to be romantically involved with him? Or do you want to have nothing to do with him at all? She's going to have to pick. This is West Side Story all over again. So, of course, she's going to choose Bruce, and she's going to challenge Alfred. She's going to stick up for herself. Say, no, I can do what I want. I can be friends with whoever I want to be. Selina Kyle and Bruce will always be way more interesting than Bruce with other characters. Silver St. Cloud is just temporary, so if you're like really bummed out that Catwoman got kicked to the curb, she'll be back with a vengeance. Let me know in the comments though, there were like a couple twists in the plot that were super obvious, they telegraphed, especially with Bruce and Silver St. Cloud and Catwoman. How do you guys feel about that? Like, do you get upset when it's too obvious? Or did you kind of pick up on the idea that they wanted it to be silly? Sometimes I get an idea that the characters on this TV show know they're in a comic book TV show, so they act like comic book characters would, which technically would be accurate, but most TV shows try to play it a little bit more real. It can be kind of confusing when other comic book shows play it straight. Like, there are comic book shows where the characters know they're in a comic book. Like, imagine every single character acting like Cisco. That would be kind of bad. Cisco on The Flash is funny because he's one of the few characters that acknowledges that comic books exist. If every character did that, it'd be terrible. Like, you have to have characters reacting to the ridiculous character. But I am really excited to see Michael Chiklis kick the shit out of the Penguin, because that's who they're going after first. More animal abuse on Gotham. So here's the deal. New episode of The Flash tonight. It is going to be crazy. Make sure you watch it. It's called The Flash of Two Worlds. They are totally going full on comic book. There's going to be some iconic comic book moments during the episode. If you ever read The Flash of Two Worlds, that was just the first time in the comics that Barry Allen met Jay Garrick. I will also be starting a new round of the Reverse Flash Ring giveaway. So lots of stuff happening tonight. Just in case you guys haven't seen it, there were a whole bunch of trailers that I posted in the last couple of days. You can click here for a bunch of new footage from Arrow and the Flash, and you can click here for the Daredevil Season 2 trailer with the first look at the Punisher. Thank you so much for watching, everybody. Let's high five. I'll see you guys tonight.